I'm Crazy Joe, by the way, and I build animatronic fursuit heads. And these are the drivers that go inside this thing here. And jaws of death, they are steel. They're not plastic. Nothing's plastic in this. This is carbon fiber Kevlar. And this one goes inside. That's what makes it very dangerous. I don't recommend this for kids. Those are the two fans that go inside the ears. This circuit right here makes the eyebrows move. That's the first time I decided to do eyebrows on these heads. Now, oops, I'm going to plug this thing in to show you what happens here. That's exactly how that thing works. Now, this guy here makes these shutters blink. They go inside the head. That's what makes the thing blink. And this is the driver for that. Let me demonstrate this thing to you. Takes a while. There it goes. Now if I reverse the polarity, it winks. Has to be under a load to keep the cables taut. This guy here cuffs the ears. You can see how thin these things are. This would pull the ears down. And this guy here makes it snarl. And this is the head that's going to go into. These are the switches that go inside the jaw. They actually protrude through these 5 holes here where my tongue hits it. That's how you operate this darn thing. Now, this is the head right here with all the goodies in it. This is the complete head. It's about 10-15 pounds. Just killed my battery here. Plug this thing back in again. Batteries on these heads here are isolated. See if I get it back in. Yeah, there it goes. A little slow on the snarl because I'm running out of motors. I can't find any more. I can put them to sleep here. This is the inner workings of this guy here. I'll pull the inner pad out. That's what it looks like inside the head. You can see the eye drive is at the far left there. And the other drives are right here. The ear and the winking, or blinking in other words. Oops, the ears are down. There we are. These right here keep it a little comfortable so you don't go dying on this darn thing. There were batteries in the heads, but I got rid of them because of the weight factor. And this is where the technology is right here. These are high-speed motors. Worm drive, actually planetary gears into a worm, and this runs the snarl. It pulls on 5 Kevlar cables, and they can take about 65 pounds each, in other words. This is the same story. Kevlar cable. And this is a 1.5-inch draw here. This would mix the cuffs the ears. I can demonstrate this guy here to you. You can see the gear slowly turn inside. Get the thing plugged in here. Come on, baby. A little noisy, but that's how these things are, unfortunately. I have to pull in the cable because this has to be taut all the time. See? These things are all flat to fit inside the heads. This is about 7/16 or 7/8 of an inch. This is about 1/2 inch. This goes inside this part here. bolts in because of the amount of torque it needs to hold this thing in place, in other words. There it goes. Then this goes over the top of it. Everything gets plugged in. There's wires that travel on either side. That's why you see all these pins here. And this part here, for the eyebrows, it plugs in right here. The cables go through the fur. Two eyelets right here, just like a muscle fiber. And these guys go right here, and they're attached to it, and that's what makes the eyebrows move, in other words. Now, to get the eyebrows to go independently, you need two motors. More motors for the equation, in other words. But the inside of it's painted black, and the eyeballs, in other words, are not finished yet. There's a screen inside there. That's lenses off of a car, in other words, believe it or not. The whole thing will be glued and filled with argon gas, and you won't be able to see in at all. But they fit in tightly. But there's a gap for the blinking and whatnot. These things fit in here like so. That's what operates the eyes. I think that'd be a good video here. Show off how these things really work. There's more technology involved here, but the thing is these motors have to be calibrated for the speed and whatnot. They're Maxim engines. They're tandem. That means they're two together for the amount of horsepower I needed. Because I need about 5 pounds of pull strength. This is about 8 pounds of pull. This is about 4 pounds. You need torque, not what do they call that? These are not RC motors, by the way. This is full torque power. These are the switches on it, right? Each one goes inside the muzzle, and these are the little paddles that stick down inside the muzzle, and I press with my tongue, and that's what operates the switch internally. When I get done, it's going to look like this guy here, and he'll have the same facial features, the whole 9 yards, but it'll actually move. And you need fans inside here. There's two of them. One's a boxer, it blows out there, and this one sits on the right side, this one sits on the left side of the ear. But the jaw is made of aluminum and it's treated. On the other jaws are titanium, very hard to carve. That's about, let's say about 1.5 pounds here. If you put a hydraulic system into this thing that's designed for hydraulics, this thing can be very deadly. I can pull 700 pounds per square inch. It'd be just about as bad as a dog bite. But the fun part is, these are all homemade. Everything's homemade here. You don't see nothing from the store. Nothing. These are out of old VCRs, these gears. All the worm drives are out of old VCRs. Because you need to make them flat, you need them powerful. Trick is, you need torque to get all this stuff to work. And when you put the fur on, that's where the equation changes. Because fur actually gets in the way of the movements, mechanisms, and everything. See, right now you see there's a skeleton part here. There's one piece here I'm leaving out of the equation to show you how that operates. This is part of the muzzle that goes right here, and the fur goes over it, and what it does is it keeps the fur down. It's like lips on a dog. It'll pull up. That's what you see, these little eyelets right here. That's what the cords come down, just like muscle fiber. And you breathe out of these tubes. You don't want no water in here. It's got to be all sealed off. This is, I call it the bulkhead. You breathe through the tubes. And everything's all sealed off in silicone. So all the electronics are completely sealed. Each one of these items will be coated in rubber or dipped. Not this one, but these items will be dipped where no moisture get into them. And this will be sealed with argon. And same story here. Everything's dipped. And what you see here, I'll show you the inner workings of this side. That makes it wink, and that makes it blink. Everything's all capped off. And there's two motors pointing into each other as tandem again, because you need the power to get this thing to work. To make it to blink, you need two motors without the gears, because you need speed more than anything else. But these guys, you need power. to get it to snarl and get the ears to move. I think that should do it there, Vox. What do you think?
Looks good to me.
Yeah.
Is that our show?
That's our show, baby.
Thanks for tuning in, folks.